So what is the answer to the antidote? What is the antidote? The antidote is to become more of, as Bashar would say, become more of who you really are. Know thyself. When you come to know thyself, you know what your divinity is, you know what your limitations are, you know how to abstain from the things that you have been participating in that are bringing you down to a lower aperture of fecklessness or powerlessness. And when I look at people, I can see a divine signature on them, but I see a very present unwillingness for them to unlock and expose themselves to that because of fear. People don't really want to see who they are on a divine level. So people pretend that they're not immortal. People pretend that they are not gods. People pretend that they are not able to unlock the keys that will give them an everlasting understanding of how to instantly come out of limitation. And I know this because when I consult people and I tell them 3 things that they can do to break free of their financial woes, a lot of times they don't institute it. So that makes a very clear statement that they want to be in financial turmoil and struggle. I tell people, okay, so you have your ancestors visiting you every night. They're coming to you for a reason, and they're asking you for assistance so that they can help you have some of the blessings that you've been blocking through your own ignorance. So there's something here that, and I'm going to make this analogy because I don't want to languish too long on this. There are places on the planet that are very dangerous. Let's say Congo. People want to go to the Congo. People might want to go to Peru. People might want to go to the Amazon jungles and test the nettle of their character. People want to project themselves onto these dangerous situations. And it's really no different than some of the shows that we have where, there's a show where these people are butt naked and they have to deal with the elements and stay there and, get themselves some clean drinking water. Why would someone subject themselves to that? Because they want to test who they really are, and they want to discover that they have the power to overcome limitation. That explains a lot of what black people go through here in America and on the planet. We bring ourselves here to test the nettle of who we are, our ability to overcome, and we familiarize the divinity of who we always have been. And it is a welcoming that people bring into their lives to deduce themselves to something. People like to keep themselves small. People like to say try, could, would, and should because they don't want to appear arrogant. People want to keep it real and say, all right, I'm going to be humble and I'm going to bring myself to this instead of this. That is the decision that people make of their own ignorance. So let's say someone like we were talking about Quincy Jones earlier. If Quincy Jones never took the mantle of exploring the musicality of his gift, we would never have had Thriller. We would not have had Off the Wall. We would not have had James Ingram and Patty Austin. We would not have had the Great White Hope, the Great White Shadow that they call Rod Temperton. The world would be very different without the contribution of Quincy Jones' genius. If he was pretending not to be the divine musical genius that he was, if he was afraid of what people thought about him, our world would be different because he would not have grown into the shoes that his soul pushed him to be. And in essence, he came to this world to make a powerful contribution, as did Stevie Wonder and Maurice White and so many different greats that changed the landscape of our planet. So my point is, you don't get anywhere by keeping yourself small, by embracing limitation. Think big. Be all that you can be. I'm borrowing that from the military complex. And strive for perfection. And everybody has a kernel of creation inside of them that if they were to go inside of it, unpack it, flourish it, water it, nurture it, and allow it to blossom from within, that can be one or many different contributions that will change the world and make it a better place to live in.
You mentioned Bashar earlier. Bashar, that's a bad dude right there.
Yes.
I watch a lot of his stuff on you. Bashar, shout out to Bashar. That's a bad dude
Absolutely.
right there. One of the things I've heard Bashar say, and I'm paraphrasing, he said that Earth is a masterclass. A lot of people think lowly spirits come here, but you have to have a certain mastery about you to even incarnate in such a physical form, to hold your spirit in this form for a certain amount of time, or to hold a thought for a certain amount of time. It takes a certain level of mastery. So when he said that, it made me think of this. And it's outrageous, but I have outrageous thoughts, so I might as well share them with you. So I thought about, why would the spirit want to come here and solidify? He said it's a master class. What do we get out of solidifying energy into so-called matter? And I came up with the analogy of cocaine versus crack.
Okay.
You have cocaine, it's a powdery substance, but when you turn it into crack and it turns into that solid, it hits hard. That's some strong shit.
Right.
You ever seen a crackhead versus that's like,
it's scary, brother.
Turns a person out.
It's scary.
So
yeah.
Does this reality, is this like the crack of the spirit world? It gives us that strong hit that our spirit looks for. You get what I'm saying?
Wow.
If we bored, is this reality giving us that crack hit that we looking for, that high that we want because it's solid crack form?
You know what? That's ingenious, Brother Rich. And as I process that, yeah, I would say that. And to add on to what you're saying, it's easy to come to that conclusion because humans, they die and then they come back. They come back here. They come back to rediscovering this. So yeah, I would say that, Night of the Living Basshead, shout out to Professor Griffin, Chuck D, that song is real. If you've ever seen a crackhead, it's and they just came from beaming up and their mind is on fire. The look in their eyes is scary.
Yeah.
There's a real rush. There's a cosmic rush that's associated with the condensation and, as I call, the great primordial regression. When people bring themselves into the finite body only to forget and cut off who you are, only to rediscover who you've always been.
It's a high.
It really is a high. You know what I mean? And I would say also with the black race in particular, we have so many different geniuses inside of us. And I just want to, if I may, give a shout out. We're going to be talking about the Get Down. So I'm looking forward to that. And when I watch Netflix, yes. When I watched that series, my mind was on fire because I saw so much mythology and so many different teachings within that one thing. But one thing I'll say about that is Grand Wizard Theodore, DJ Flowers, Grandmaster Flash, Kool Herc, Africa Bambaataa. These were gods. These were gods that actually gave birth to something, as Grandmaster Flash says, is the cake that everybody's eating from. And I would challenge anyone that if you really like hip-hop music and you have done well, go back to some of these brothers and cut them a check. Cut them a check. Give them $10,000, and you make $100,000, and that a show. It would be nothing for you to be reciprocate and cut Grandmaster Flash a check, or cut some of these early pioneers a check, and show them that you appreciate that, and maybe you'll have more blessings coming to you. But yes, so I would say that the Earth School, I do agree with what the brother was saying, that it is a master class, but really what's going to happen outside of that is going to be something that has not been done before. And Earth is on the precipice of achieving that, not in our lifetime, unfortunately, but Earth will be known in the universe as doing something that has never, ever been done before, but hopefully will happen over and over again. And if you look at the Lucille Ball show that happened in 1955, Desi Arnaz came up with the studio system, the 3-camera setup, and Hollywood is still using that 50 years later. So he set the tone for that, and Earth is setting the tone for what will be the new standard in this particular universe, and we're living that out.
Before I get to the next question, quick story. I want to give this brother props.
Yeah.
you speak on money a lot and abundance and the idea of lack and limitation, and people listening might think you just talking, but I want to tell the people, sometimes words are the least purveyor of truth. You can say a lot of things, but yet,
Beautiful. Okay.
Yeah, you can say what you want, as we talked earlier, but the way you move and your actions may show something different. So a lot of people may say, I feel abundant, but when it's time, when they at the register and they're spending that money, they're like, damn, the thoughts that go through their mind,
Right.
they're not feeling good. They're feeling the limitation.
Right.
So that's how they really feel inside, not what they're telling everybody. This brother here, man, I provided the brother with a service. I told him a price. The brother gave me more than what I asked for. That's real. It was unrehearsed. It wasn't something that I stressed to the brother or I dropped hints to the brother. He just did it because that's who he is. So he really does not have this idea of limitation or scarcity. And when he talks about abundance, he lives it. He doesn't just talks it with words. So I just wanted to give you a shout out with that for those that are interested in your services. The brother, he walks it. It's in his aura. So you could get Brother Rich will tell you that if you're interested in his services.
Thank you, Brother Rich. I appreciate that.
With that being said, we in 2016. People say we're going into the age of Aquarius. A lot of people are saying that the human body is going to be making some major adjustments. And because of that, we will be experiencing spiritual symptoms that the hospital may say is a headache. It may say it's stress. It may say it's a brain aneurysm. We talked about that. It may say it's a series of things. And they say, well, you didn't eat this or you didn't do that. But they're saying that because there's so much energy bombarding the planet at this time, that a lot of people are experiencing things that they haven't experienced before, and they want the people to know, don't bug out, don't get crazy, don't start taking tons of medication. This was expected at this time because of the energy that is bombarding the planet. Talk to the people about the spiritual symptoms that we may be experiencing at this time.
Absolutely. Well, okay, so the sun, the solar disk, Ra, is responsible for injecting massive amounts of codes whose responsibility is evolving all life in this particular solar system. The sun is the life giver to all of the planets that are here, whether you can see life on them or not. And what's been happening is that there has been a massive assimilation for people because there were different downloads and there were different codes that the sun is emitting that is 10,000 particles per square inch per second. Whether the sun is out or not, the sun is still radiating that into the atmosphere onto the epidermis of your skin.
Okay.
So when you have certain practices and you have a teacher, they can teach you how to take those particles, integrate them into your reality. For the people who don't have a teacher or they don't have a spiritual practice or a series of practices, they will experience the drag and the backlog of what these heavy energies are attempting to do by gaining access into the apparatus of the consciousness. And it is up to people to have certain meditations, certain practices, certain mudras, mantras, and different things to integrate these frequencies into the body so that you're not lagging behind. So what some of the symptoms may look like is that some people have headaches, some people have very decreased energy, some people are experiencing time loss where there are not enough hours in the day, and that is a real thing because the advent of time has sped up to an extent to where there are not the 24 hours in a day that you once perceived as 24. There actually is a lot less. So a good spiritual teacher will give you practices of how to assimilate these energies in your body, and I'll give you one of them. There is a benefit to going to a tree. There are tree huggers that do this, and they don't know why they're doing it. But really what's happening is that the trees create oxygen, and the trees actually hold the codes that the sun has been eliciting. So if you take your shoes off, absolutely. Okay. If you take the shoes off, right now we're in a park, there are a lot of people that are lying down on the fertility of Mother Earth. They are also getting the photosynthesis that has the information enlightenment factors and the factors of evolution inside of the codex of the grass. So there's a way that you can actually lay on the grass, put the balls of your feet into the negative ions of the soil, hug the tree for a certain amount of time, put your first eye or your third eye onto the surface of the tree, and allow those energies to speed up your the formation of this energy within your body. It's really no different from taking monoatomic gold. It accelerates the circuitry or the electricity of your body by 1,000%, as do colloidals and other herbs. So when you're able to do that, you will get the benefit of it. And it has to be done cyclically, consistently, and persistently in order to get the benefit.
You also deal with manifestation, so I got a question for you.
Okay.
I read Neville Goddard a lot. Have you ever heard of Neville Goddard?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so in one of his books, he talks about before you go to sleep at night, you should think about what you want to manifest. This is a way to speed up the process, because we were talking about speeding up the process.
That's right.
Before you go to sleep, think about what you want right before you're about to go to sleep. And if you envision it and think about it, you will bring it with you to the fourth dimension, and your fourth dimensional self will do the work at an accelerated rate. And that next day or the day after or very soon, you will see what you wanted if you do that right before you go to bed. Mm-hmm. So talk to us about that technique. How accurate is it? Have you done it before? Have you known people that do it, that done it before?
Well, you know, I have not done that particular technique, but I have many different ones that I utilize, and I have one in particular called the Double Master Gateway, and that happens at 11:11 a.m. and 11:11 p.m. Most of the time when I have a seminar, I start it at 11 o'clock, and that's for a good reason. And how you doing, brother? And we are in the throes of the seminar, and I'll have to stop the seminar and put my hands together and put out to the universe what my intentions are for the next coming year. And I've condensed that into something that I can get off within less than 30 seconds, so it doesn't take too much time. But there's a video that I have on my channel, and it's something that you could all participate in. The 11:11 a.m. and 11:11 p.m. has a certain field goal, if you will, that would allow you to project your desire and your wish and bring it to you in the most divine time, that would bring it to you in the highest form, in the highest good, in the best possible representation. By you doing this consistently at 11:11 a.m. and p.m., your desire that you may never get just by wishing about it and thinking about it will come to you a lot faster by doing it this way.
On your YouTube channel is what is it again?
Galacticus.com. GALIGHTTICUS.com on YouTube.
You speak about the 144,000.
Yes.
When you say that, some people may think, that's that religion, biblical nonsense. Some people think it's very real. Explain to the people what exactly and who are the 144,000.
Okay. The 144,000 are a group of souls who this will be their last lifetime on Earth, and they will also hold the balance for the 7 to 8 billion people that are people on the planet that are choosing to remain unconscious. The 144,000 souls will become enlightened fully within this particular lifetime, making this possibly the last lifetime on Earth. And some of them will probably choose to come back and guide and be a master teacher in another lifetime. But that, by and large, is the 144,000. The 144,000 people are seeing numbers all around them. They're seeing 444, 333. They're seeing their birth dates. And one thing that I've said in the video, another video, there's no one that's giving the real explanation as to why that's happening. Why would you see your birthday being transmitted on a license plate? Why are you seeing your birthday on the back of a bus that's going by slowly? It's because you have set an alarm in the spiritual world in order for you to wake up at a designated time during the age of Aquarius. And this alarm clock is for you. When you want to wake up, you set your time to a certain time. I have to get up at 6 in the morning so I can get ready and be at work by 8:30. So you set the alarm clock to 6 o'clock to alert you and bring you out of your slumber so that you can get ready in enough time to go to where you need to go. So the numbers that people are seeing, there are 144,000 people that are seeing the series of numbers. Those numbers are calling for you to wake up, enter into the Ascension program so that you can wake up to who you really have always been, but allowed yourself to be in slumber. And that's the true definition as to why people are seeing the numbers that they've been seeing.
Wow, I'm glad you explained it like that. Like you said, a lot of people aren't explaining it to that extent because a lot of people are reporting seeing these numbers. So I'm glad you said that, brother.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, man, this has been a very interesting. I think we've been on for about an hour and 15, 20 minutes, something like that. It's been
Went by
great.
Really fast.
Yeah, real fast.
Absolutely.
Hey, time is an illusion.
Yeah, it sure is, right? Funny how time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, before we end it, why is that? Why when I'm not having a good time, Gano, is when
Right.
time goes by the slowest. When I'm in traffic and it's gridlock, oh man, it just goes by so slow. But when I'm playing basketball, the thing I enjoy doing the most is the thing that causes time to go by the fastest.
That's right.
Why is that, brother?
Well, that happens because when you are doing something that you love, that you're passionate about, your vibration is higher. And when your vibration is higher, your frequency is more opulent. When your frequency is more opulent, you lose the sensory of the limitation of time. When your frequency is of the shamanic resonance of which Earth is oscillating on, unfortunately, you join the rat race, time goes by slow, and you experience the slow passage of time. But when you're in the throes of doing something, like I know producers that they'll be 24 hours straight producing music and they don't miss a beat. Bill Gates, when he was computing his language and he was really making the template of what the world knows to be now and enjoys so much as the World Wide Web and his incorporation and his gift, people had to go and knock on his door and say, Bill, you've been in there for 3 days. And he was living off of Coca-Cola and M&Ms. It's a documented fact. So he lost all sense of time because he was in a heightened state of creativity. And that's what causes that.
What do you think about I just thought about the movie Wolf of Wall Street when you talked about Bill Gates.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people say that the people in Silicon Valley, they take these what do you call them, opioid drugs, opioids, or
barbiturates you're talking about?
I don't know if it's that. Well,
okay.
They basically take something, they get high.
Yeah.
Then once they get high is when all of these ideas come out of them.
Right.
What do you think about people that get high off of drugs to come up with ideas, whether it be musicians or whether it be inventors, but they get high to come up with these ideas?
I'll just say this for the record. I think it would be unfair for me. Let's just say weed. People smoke marijuana. People smoke weed, and they claim that it makes them feel a certain way and it allows them to, feel really good about things. I can't speak for that or against it because I've only gotten high once when I was 19, and I don't know enough about it to be a champion for it. What I have to say about LSD, what I have to say about DMT, different psychedelic drugs, or entheogens or pathogens, I do know that there is a gear shift in the consciousness of the individual who ingests it, and they sometimes are exposed to off-world intelligence. Now, I'm talking about not synthetic. Let's just deal with ayahuasca. Let's deal with ibogaine. Let's deal with the shroom, psilocybin. It has a doorway that will allow you to interface with things that are not readily available in your temporal consciousness. If people are dealing with drugs and they're dealing with opium and they're dealing with that, that's not something that, it is a synthetic way to dial into something that you can do on your own, but it's detrimental and it could become very addictive. And that's not something that I would advocate. But yes, if you go back to Kemet, you might see different depictions of different mushrooms and different things that they utilized in order to give them a heightened state of consciousness and off-world intelligence. That's a real thing.
Okay. How Close out for me. Tell the people what should they be doing. It's September, it's fall 2016. What do you recommend to everybody that's out there on their spiritual journey, on their spiritual path, trying to raise their consciousness? What would you recommend at this time, brother, to close it out?
What I would recommend to anyone is to become your dream. Live your dream.
Okay.
Know thyself. Know why you're here. Know your purpose. Know why you came to this world. And also fix your limitations. There's a lot of people I know that live in fear. They're the fear of the unknown. Don't fear the unknown. Embrace the unknown, because the unknown is what has given life to this world.
Leave your contact info, brother.
My contact
Any events
is,
you got coming up, your events also.
Absolutely. I'm having a Kundalini activation on October the 15th. And then I'm having Hypernatural Magic in Weehawken, New Jersey, in the same location, October the 16th. We will only allow 100 people to partake in this. I will only do this seminar one time in America, and that will be it. I also can be contacted on Facebook, Gano Grills. You can see the website, which is galacticus.com, GALIGHTICUS. We have 2 communities on Facebook, and that's where our support base is. And you can reach me particularly at galacticus@gmail.com. Oh, my number, 212-604-4446. And that's how you can schedule a consultation. Please don't call me and ask me to help you because you're in the spirit of lack, because I won't be able to help you with a phone call. You have to work that out for yourself, and that is your rites of passage, and that's how you get in contact.
Thank you for your time, brother. This is Brother Rich, Underground Railroad Productions. We signing out, family. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace and blessings.